When the history of Trump's political defecation is written, there'll be a lot of finger pointing, but no one will be as responsible as the sackless chumps at Fox News.
Truthful reporting in the media is essential to our democracy.
The CEO of Dominion Voting Systems says the nearly $800 million settlement of its defamation suit against Fox News is historic.
Today's settlement of $787,500,000 represents vindication and accountability. Lies have consequences.
Now, if you remember, Fox News was fined nearly $1 billion for lying about the voting machines back in the 2020 election. They claimed crazy shit like they were being manipulated by Hugo Chavez and an assorted cast of clowns. But now, 5 years later, the real shit is coming out, and you'll see the pun in a few seconds. All right, so a slew of private text messages from current and former Fox News hosts were made public last night after unredacted parts of a motion filed by Smartmatic, the voting machine company, were released to the public. And to say it's embarrassing is like calling Trump svelte, even though he is 6'3" and 220 pounds. To refresh your memory, Smartmatic, which provided election technology for the 2020 election, is suing Fox for $2.5 billion for defamation. After the 2020 election, Trump said it had all been rigged against him.
Process is rigged. It's a rigged election. It's a rigged system.
But of course, more than 60 court rulings proved him wrong. And in the weeks following the election, some Fox News hosts and guests, like Sidney Powell, Trump's lawyer, echoed those claims and singled out Smartmatic and Dominion Voting Systems for having played a role in getting Joe Biden elected. Of course, it was all a lie, and they knew it was a lie.
President Trump won this election in a landslide. It's going to be irrefutable. I'm going to release the Kraken.
She will serve 6 years probation, pay a $6,000 fine, write a letter of apology to the people of Georgia.
And my stupid people.
Then in 2023, Fox settled a defamation lawsuit brought by Dominion for $787 million. Smartmatic's motion was filed in late April, but only now are many of the texts from Fox News employees being released and unredacted. So here are the 5 juiciest revelations from the unredacted filings. Let's start with Janine Piro, a hack of the highest order, who clearly spelled out her allegiance to Trump.
But this is what I believe. I believe in this man.
Pirro was a former Fox News host until Trump rewarded her by making her the U.S. attorney in D.C. She actually bragged about helping Trump and the GOP, despite Fox's prohibition on hosts getting involved in politics, which, of course, is hilarious.
Judge, and I say this with a unblemished record of heterosexuality. He looks good. And he looks hard.
Back in September 2020, Pirro hosted a show called Justice with Judge Genie. She proudly said, "I'm the #1 watch show on all cable news all weekend. I work so hard for the president and the party." But the filing also revealed that Pirro hoped to secure a pardon for her then ex-husband, Albert Pirro, who was convicted of tax evasion and conspiracy. So Trump eventually granted him one. But here's my favorite part. Apparently, Fox News is not quite so lovey-dovey. Judge Genie called Fox News' Sean Hannity an egomaniac and said, wait for it, whenever he was in the White House, Hannity would use Trump's private bathroom in the Oval Office, even for number 2. Then, in another text message from October 27, 2020, Pirro accused Sean Hannity of being an egomaniac and cited Hannity's behavior when he was at the White House. Hannity stormed in like he owns the place, throws his papers on Trump's desk and says, "You don't mind if I use your private bathroom, do you?" Then walks into the bathroom in the Oval Office and uses it. He would look at me and say, "I got to talk to him. It's all about him, period. No one else matters." But apparently, Pirro's own producer told her to cool it on election fraud allegations. The producer was a guy named Jerry Andrews, who warned Pirro against making false claims of election fraud. He said you got to be careful with this stuff and protect yourself given the ongoing calls for evidence that is not materialized. Later, Judge Genie became pissed when Fox News declined to air the November 7th episode of her show that contained the claim of fraud. Earlier that day, the election was called for Biden, several days after Election Day. She responded by texting Hannity, "I'm tired of the censorship and how embarrassed I am that they call the election." And Jesse Waters, a turd-like little Trump incel, he said he thought thought Fox going all in on the election fraud claims would be a ratings bonanza. Waters texted Fox's Greg Gutfeld in December of 2020. Think about how incredible our ratings would be if Fox went all in on Stop the Steal. And a text the next day after the election, however, Waters expressed concern about audience backlash after Fox was the first network to call Arizona for Biden. Then finally, Fox's lawyers saw the writing on the wall. A producer at the network told Waters, "You cannot, under any circumstances, cast doubt on the election because the powers that be are not having it." I love that part. Not that you shouldn't lie, but we might get caught if you do. On that same day, Jesse Waters texted Fox colleague Pete Hegseth, who is now, when he's not passed out drunk, the Secretary of Defense. By the way, did you get the memo about not saying fraud? But there were some Fox hosts like Bret Baier who saw the lie and he was worried. He told Fox executives that Maria Bartiromo's election coverage needed fact-checking. He texted Fox News executive Jay Wallace and said, "None of what she's saying is true as far as we can tell. We need to fact-check this shit." And of course, we all remember the texts from Fox News employees during and after January the 6th. Following the insurrection.
Well, let me give you my view of what happened January the 6th. And we're here. We're here. We saw what happened. It was a violent insurrection for the purpose of trying to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
Well, there was a flurry of texting from several Fox News personalities who sent urgent text messages to then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, urging him to convince then President Trump to take action to stop the violence. These texts, which were later revealed by the January 6th committee, included messages from Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, and Brian Kilmeade. These messages expressed concern, and they called for Trump to publicly condemn the violence and urge his supporters to leave the Capitol. Of course, Pouty Fuckwinkle went the other way and eventually pardoned close to 1,500 MAGA insurrectionists who beat up cops and threatened Mike Pence's life.
I'm telling you what, I'm hearing the Pence just caved.
No.
Is that true? I'm hearing reports that Pence caved.
No
I'm
way.
telling you, if Pence caved, we're going to drag through the streets. You politicians are going to get drugged through the street.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
This is hurting all of us. He is destroying his legacy, Laura Ingraham wrote.
Earlier today, the Capitol was under siege by people who can only be described as antithetical to the MAGA movement. Now, there were likely not all Trump supporters, and there are some reports that Antifa sympathizers may have been sprinkled throughout the crowd.
Quote, "Can he make a statement? Ask people to leave the Capitol," Sean Hannity urged.
They knew there were hundreds of thousands of people that came to town. We also knew that there's always bad actors that will infiltrate large crowds. I don't care if they're radical left, radical right. I don't know who they are. They're not people I would support.
One of the president's sons texted Mr. Meadows, quote, "He's got to condemn this shit ASAP."
But today, it's like January 6th never happened. Fox News is back on their knees, filleting the liar in chief and cementing their place as a network which brought it all down on the country they claim to love. Fair and balanced?
Go fuck yourself.
Goddamn right.
It's sitting on my desk.
I'm sorry, Mom.
I could be a stupid person.
Trump admitted he knew Epstein for 15 years.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Do you have no shames?
It's not fair. Are you not entertained? Jeffrey Epstein?
They don't know what the they're doing.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.